Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on July 8th, 2022 at approximately 1:40 p.m. PST. Well, technology is doing its normal thing for me. Bought a mic for a lapel mic the other day, or more to the point, somebody else sent me one. But much as it's supposed to be a plug and play, and I don't know if this is normal. For me, if it isn't, it would be normal. But anyway, plugged the thing in, had to reset all the settings, had to get my other half to explain how to reset all the settings so it would work. But as soon as I unplugged it, we had to do it again in order to get this side of it to work. So I don't know if when you plug what it boils down to is this. Supposed to be, as far as I understand, you plug that into your laptop and the mic should work. Unfortunately, it requires a whole pile of adjustments on software, which makes it complicated for me. But the reality is, the office is kind of a necessity to get organized. Now, I'm quite happy to see that I've got a box up here on top of my printer, which is not where I desire it to be, but it'll go tomorrow when I head to storage. When we're looking at the material world, again, the biggest issue that I really do feel is required here. I came back to this world for one primary purpose: to remind everyone in existence, that working together we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. But it is going to require communication lines to be established between people. Okay, I am yet to find any individual that is absolutely focused, absolutely able to do everything they require. Okay, but by reaching out to the people close to you, you can find a solid enough group of people to really coordinate things and make your world and co-create a world that you're quite content with. Right now, society is going down a very complicated path, and it's got to turn it and be turned around. But that's going to require everybody's work. Everybody working on their own little part of the world. Okay. Now, when it comes to the material world, the backbone, as I've said before, is the financial world. That is your accepted barter system around the world right now. Okay. I'm still a firm believer in the concept that sharing time, doing one task for somebody so they can do something else for you, the old-fashioned method of bartering, is in essence the best one available. But I will tell you, far easier to move a $10 bill around than it is to move a cow. Okay, now what I'm doing at this point is I've got the energy in my office working properly. Okay, I've got things moving in the right direction, and it's going to be entertaining. I'm going to give you the heads up here because I'm not taking the computer with me. From the 28th I might get one out on the 28th. I might get a post out on the 28th and likely one and possibly one on the night of the 31st. But the 29th and the 30th, I won't be going online because I'm going to be leaving my computer at home. Okay, I'm heading for my 40th year ground reunion, and I'm just not taking the computer with me this time. So I will be going off air at that point, and I'll end up bringing you up to speed, when I get back. But it really depends on when I get up and running as to whether I'll get one out on the 28th, or when I get home, whether I've got the energy to get one out on the 31st. That said, as you can see with the desk beside us here, you can see the end of the painting station. I've got the stuff cleared out of there and back where it belongs. Now, I don't know if you can tell it's back where it belongs, because quite frankly, what I'm looking at here, since all the containers are all over on the left-hand side of the painting station, the camera doesn't reach that far. Okay, but everything is set up running smoothly at this stage, which is exactly what I was aiming at. And it's the same thing you've got to be aiming at. The trick to becoming successful in your eyes is to make certain you take what you're content with and really shift that around. Really move the energy so that everything is pointing towards that one goal of attaining what you're aiming for. Now, I have a tendency of letting stress get to me, right? So my weight tends to fluctuate like most people's. But as you get the energy running smoothly, you're in good shape. You'll end up in much better shape. Okay, I've started final edit on the Return to Paradise, the third book in the Yldrbacian Chronicles, the trilogy referred to as the latter years. Okay, so I've started final edit on it, and I'm just going through it now, along with writing the back end of it, because I'm about halfway done writing the actual story. Right. I'm just started doing final edit. So it's sort of all coming together at once. Okay, and where are we here? If we go up here on the compendium file, it does tell us that, yeah, we're over, completed. We've written approximately 27% of the wording is written. Okay. Yeah. Approximately 27% is, that cannot be right. What is that one? C6 to 17. Okay. What's that? C20 over. Okay. Over C15. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm looking at this going, I've got about a third of it written, about a third of the entire chronicle done. And this is the issue. Take a look at where your life is. Ask yourself, are you content with where your life is sitting? If the answer is yes, this is fantastic. Okay, in my case, I've hit some snags along the way, but the tools I offer here, and this is why I call myself a spiritual guide, the tools I offer are the ones that I personally use, and because of that, I know they work. However, it must be understood that unless you're putting the tools to use, the best tools in the world will not help. Okay, best tools cannot work if you never pick them up. It's kind of like a car will not take you anywhere if you don't turn the engine on. Okay, that's just the way reality works. Now, I've got the material world working in a lot of ways, the way I desire it to work. But that does require focused effort. Okay, and yeah, right now, no, you couldn't tell. I was going to say, in case you couldn't tell, it is hotter than Hades here right now, which is not entirely correct. I'm just curious. Yeah, see, the silly part here is I'm overheating, but the temperature is 24 degrees Celsius, and I do not recall the absolute translation of that. Let's see, we go, what is it now? We don't have that there, so bring that up, and we go 72 divided by, cancel that. 72 divided by 9 multiplied by 5. No. That's just a silly. Okay, we screwed that up. Doesn't really matter. She's warm. Okay, this is why I keep the window open. But when we take a look at it, you take a look at where your finances are. I started out with, what was it? Now, this is that funny little thing that works like a charm. Okay, this is a list of the different things that I've got to get through today. I'm already finished half of them. Okay, actually I can chalk that off because that one's been done. I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, had 12 items listed that I was working on. And frankly, at this point, I've done 3/4 of the list on my 3/4 of the tasks on my list. This whole list issue works like an absolute charm. Okay, at least it does for me. If you either find yourself getting very scattered or trying to do too many things at the same time, putting that list down, putting 3 things on the list that are only 15 minutes to half an hour in length will enable you to get things checked off so that you feel like you're getting something done during the day. Okay, so I managed to get a fair chunk accomplished. I got a lot more to do. Okay, but realistically, if you're sitting there going, I really desire my life to change. Okay, understand no matter who you talk to about it, no matter who you ask about guidance about what is required to put your life in order, you're going to have to be the one to do it. Now, for instance, in my case, okay, due to the fact I woke up a little late this morning, I did not get my exercise done. But I do know if I don't get it done today, I'm going to run into a problem tomorrow getting stiffer. Did that a few months back, and ended up unable to move for 3 months. So, needless to say, when I get done here, when I get done recording this, I'm going to go get my exercise out of the way. Now, understand, I don't exercise a lot. Okay, I exercise a whopping 5 to 7 minutes in the morning. Eventually, I'll get it up to 10. Okay, simply aiming at getting my body working the way I desire it to. Okay, now I'm certainly not planning on going and becoming a muscle bound. I'm not going to get into the heavy duty weightlifting. I will get to the point of being able to pick up. Like right now, frankly, I'll show you something really pathetic. Okay. Now, this little weight, okay, and when I talk about a little weight, that's only like 12 pounds. That's not much to work with, okay, but that's what I'm going to be working with. I've got the weights to bring the one-armed bar up to, let's see, I think they're 15 pounds. So that one combined is about the red discs, the red weights are only 5 pounds apiece. Right, and then you've got a 2.5 pound bar. But I think that I've got either 10 or 15 pound ones in the back room that I will eventually work up to. I was going to wait until I got down to the 200 pound mark. But bearing in mind I'm having a lot of trouble getting down under it, I'm thinking I could stay on that track, and I may well. Eventually, I will get to the point where I will get that little, I don't know if it's called dumbbell or what the thing is. I'm not a health enthusiast. Okay. But I'm not happy with my strength level, so I will work on it. Okay. If you're expecting that I'm going to all of a sudden go into heavy duty weightlifting and tell you, here's all the exercises, scrap the idea. Ain't going to happen because I am not going into weightlifting. I will use that to get into better shape because the reality is I've got a very simple, although hard to reach goal in mind. Okay, I've already managed to get off planet. You don't have to believe that one. Okay, I've already managed to find peace of mind in as much as I know exactly where I'm standing, precisely what I'm aiming for, and the path that I require at this point to get to it. Now, I may make adjustments to the path as I go along, but the concept of my actually getting to see the 22nd century in a functional body, in a functionally healthy body, may be a little bit of a challenge if I don't do something about it. So, I'm going to bring my muscle tone up to what I desire. Okay, bring the weight down, and I know, and this is why I've been holding off on the muscle side of it, because I desire to drop below that weight. And then I will transfer it over to muscle. Come to think of it, probably the next time I'm out, the next time I run into her, there is a young lass that is going after her MMA. She's the one that I've mentioned that she's got this goal in mind and she's very focused on it. Okay, but it's somebody like that, not a medical doctor, Not somebody that tells you, oh, if you eat in this kind of diet, you'll drop the weight you're looking for, you'll get in better shape. If they're not in better shape themselves, then frankly, they're not doing what they're telling you. Okay, and this is why I will go and talk to this young lass and find out not her method of doing it, but just a little bit of insight. Okay, there's a gentleman down the road from me as well that I might run into on a walk. He is into the what do they call it? The Ironman competition. Now I'm certainly not going to get into that kind of way of training. I know for an absolute certainty, if my right leg will not take my own weight at 200 pounds, you can bet trying to flip a 400-pound tire is just not an option. Okay, but when you look at your physical world, get the goal straight in your head that you desire to accomplish. Okay, and I cleared off my desk for the most part, unless it's sitting here. This is stuff I've got to go through after I get done, but let's just take a look at it. And no, it is not. So that's okay. I've mentioned before this issue of getting a sheet of paper up that tells you literally, I have legally acquired a minimum of $2,500 by July 31st of 2022 at 1 minute to midnight. I'll be writing that as soon as I get off shift, as soon as I get done with this recording, because it's a very quick task, but it'll get it dealt with and put it where it belongs. It's these little things of staying on track that will help get your life in the order you desire it in if you pick the tools up. And this is why I say the tools I offer are the ones I personally put to use. Okay, the reality is, if you're talking to somebody that is telling you this is what you should be doing, and they're not doing it themselves, you might want to reconsider who you're talking to. Like, I went into a financial advisor a little while ago, and they were pushing the whole concept of RSPs and everything else. And I asked the individual, I asked them point blank, do you have any of this product? And they went, no, I wouldn't touch it personally. I says, okay, so why are you telling me? Now, to be clear, I do actually have an RSP at this point. But this guy told me flat out he was saying to get into them because that's what he was told by his boss to push. He says, personally, I wouldn't touch them. Now, from my standpoint, I'm not worried about whether or not somebody else will. I'm worried about whether or not I understand it. Like I said, much as he said he wouldn't touch them, okay, I have subsequently got myself into an RSP. Not a great one, but I'm focusing on down the road. Okay, so this neat little trick here. Yeah, I'm all the way across the room. I'm still very much a dinosaur. So I still use one of these. Okay, desktop calendar. You may well be using an electronic one. I still find the physical ones are easier for me to work with. Okay, but what I do with these is at the beginning of the month, I list right here before the first, I list what my bank accounts are looking like, so that when I get to the end of the month, I can mark down, what is this? This is July. Well, that's interesting. Oh, that's why. I'm looking here going July 30th, where the heck, but the 31st is over here. But I've got it listed for what I started with. Now what I do is target these numbers to make sure that as I get to the end of the month, I have a higher number, even if it's only by 1 penny. I'll have a higher number in that account, in each of those accounts. By doing that, it shows an increase that I can quantifiably say it's getting better. Okay, and that is what I do encourage you to do. Okay, if you haven't done it already, take a look at where your finances are currently sitting and mark them down. And then make certain you target those numbers to bring them up just a little bit. And like I said, even if it's only 1 penny higher, it's still higher. And it's these little tiny steps that are going to work very well to put your life in track, to put you on the path that you're content with, not the one I'm content with. Okay, but like I said, you talk to anybody you choose and get all the insight you can, but the reality is, whatever insight you gain that you feel is beneficial, or maybe beneficial, if you're not doing the work, you're not going to get anywhere with it. Okay, years ago I heard an interview with Wayne Gretzky. Okay, and he made a comment that was absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm not a hockey fan by any functional stretch. And yeah, you think about it here, let's go stereotypical. Canada, which is where I am, hockey fan. Not going to happen. Okay, but I still know who Wayne Gretzky is. And he made the comment that you may miss 95% of the shots you take, but you will miss 100% of the ones you don't take. Okay, so am I expecting to be the best, the greatest, or any of that? Absolutely not. I was aiming for peace of mind for me, and the way I pulled that off was by realizing that I have to be content with me, with my progress and my focus. Okay, nobody else does, because I cannot and you cannot control how other people are going to see you. Some of your success, people will see and get encouraged by it. Some people will see it as a threat to them. There's no way you can compensate for everybody. You're going to make some people unhappy. And obviously, I've done it in the past. I'll go to say something. And much as I've got it clear up here what I'm aiming at, it will be misconstrued. I cannot, well, I could. I refuse to let myself buy into that anymore. Okay, so at this point, I do my best to phrase things in such a way that works. But if it comes out wrong, I can't do anything about it. So I will caution you on this. If I say something that you feel does not apply to you, absolutely do your best to not take it on. Okay. I've listened to some people that have posted that, or I've looked at some posts that have gone up, and people are still isolating each other from themselves, from like isolating other people from them because of skin color, because of orientation, because of political affiliation. Okay, understand you're all in exactly the same boat. Okay, you may not realize it, but every single one of you, I would lay odds anyway, and I'd love to meet the guy that doesn't fit this one. But every one of you, regardless of how much money you've got, is going to die. Okay, it's just that simple. And rest assured, and the Egyptians found this, they all thought like the real wealthy ones, thought they were taking all their stuff with them. As it turns out, thousands of years later, we find their tombs, they're dead, but their stuff is all here. So, realistically, it's an interesting situation. The past cannot be rewritten. You cannot take the material world with you. But I did finally do something the other day, just yesterday. Okay, I've got, and people my age, some of you will recognize this. Okay, but I've got a 35 millimeter Kodachrome film that myself and two of my friends, we filmed it, I think, in grade 8. Okay, but I finally got it turned into a company that will actually copy it. Now, in this case, I don't know what the quality is going to come back like. It's going to be 4 to 6 months. But the company, if you've got one, the only company I know of that does it, and there's probably others. Okay, but I worked with a company up here called London Drugs. Okay, that they do the transfer of that film. It's already, for me, it's already developed, but I've got no way of watching it. So I turned it over to them, and in 4 to 6 months, apparently, I'll get the video back in a way that I can watch it. Okay, and at that point, Okay, I do intend on tracking down the two people that helped me, that filmed it with me, and turn over a copy to them. Okay, better late than never. The real kicker to it is I don't know if the two people are still alive. Okay, hopefully one of them will show up at our class reunion that I am actually managing to go to. Okay, I've got the tickets already bought, everything, including the cab, is lined up along with a wake-up call for me to head out. Now, again, this is a question of getting your physical world running in the direction you desire it to run. But you've got to be clear yourself about not where it's going, but about where you desire it not to be. Where you are right now. If you're happy with your life, this is great. Okay. But in order to change where your life is heading, you're the one that's going to have to do the work. For me to make this trip to the island, to Vancouver Island for my reunion, okay, I had to be the one to make the effort to do it. Okay, so that's exactly where I went with it. And now I've got a bunch of other little projects on the go. But take a look at where your life is. Okay, if you're not content with where it is, and you don't know, and you're not certain where to start, well, I will tell you, the easiest place to start in correcting the way your world is working is by you altering the things altering the energy path in the way that you're looking at the world. Alter the energy path so that everything that is blocking your personal view of personal success is altered to help co-create the world you desire in your part of the world. Now remember, I only follow 3 laws. Okay, be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. And energy out, energy in. Now, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below this video. If you've got questions in any field, I mean, I've been in the consulting field now for over 40 years. Well, 49, but professionally about 35. Okay, professionally as in generating an income. If you've got a question in any field, absolutely drop me a line in one of the contact points listed below this video. Okay, if you don't desire everybody else to know what the question is. Okay, and I will do my best to get back to you. Okay, now that said, if you like this video, do give us a thumbs up. And please remember to hit the subscribe button in order to get notification of when so you can see the rest of the videos as they come up. Okay, but until then, I've got a bunch of things I got to get on with. You've got a bunch of things to get on with as well. Oh, one last note. I will be back on tomorrow, and I finally made a decision. I'll be posting this in Facebook and my other social media tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will be going live on YouTube. Okay, tomorrow being on July 9th. I think July 9th is tomorrow. Yeah, on July 9th. I will be going online to share a potentially different view of the way energy travels to enable accelerated healing, to enhance your ability to work in that field. Okay, but this is simply the way I found it works. Absolutely. Now, I do not call myself a Reiki master because the reality is I've never been trained. Okay, but I will be live tomorrow. Absolutely. I will, between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will be there. That said, until then, until we talk again, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.